one.
Welcome to the second episode of the series, the Not For Everyone podcast series of...
That's our series.
Adam, what is this series called?
Fringe with benefits. We're taking like fringe theories and stuff, and we're bringing in people to talk about them, right? The friends of ours, they got benefits. You get the joke.
Fringe with benefits.
Go ahead, Bobby.
And today, Jaimie, you've been on the show a couple times. Go back and listen to the communion episode. There's an old Halloween episode where you talk about some of your experiences, but you're deeply, or historically has been deeply vested in the UFO scene the last couple decades or so. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I would say I probably got in somewhere around 2015, 2016, I think is when I really took my deep dive into it. So that's 10 years now.
Been a while.
And what has been the what has been your professional trajectory with that interest?
So it started out with just me and my best friend, and we decided to make a podcast. And then the podcast turned into a YouTube channel. Then the YouTube channel turned into us working behind the scenes in the UFO community. And now we both full-time work for the same UFO event, doing completely different things. She's the producer of the event, and I'm the media manager of the events for Contact in the Desert now.
I got to ask, I am probably going to talk a little smack on that entire scene. Is that going to get you in trouble?
No, you're allowed to have your own opinions.
Okay, fair enough. So you
I want to
basically
hear the beef on the scene.
So you basically took almost a lifelong interest and experience, right? And just rode the wave of the paranormal and the high strangeness into an actual career behind the scenes, working with some of these cuckoo birds that we see on TV.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, Adam, over to you.
Nice. Yeah. So what was the guy's name that died recently? Wilcox, right? Brian Wilcox.
David
Wilcox.
What the
R.I.P.
David Wilcox. What the fuck happened to David Wilcox?
So I'm going to be very honest with you. I think that he unfortunately was just very mentally ill and ended his life. As much as like people want to make it such like this conspiracy thing like that, dude had like a lot of troubles. He was like drastically in debt. He was constantly involved in lawsuits and things like that. Like it was not, he was like literally, he spent every day on the internet begging people for money. Like that's the only way he got money, and people gave it to him. And I think
that ain't no way to live.
No, and I think he just genuinely got tired. And I think that there was a lot of people who like, talk shit about him on the internet. And I think that he probably really watched all of those things. And that's like one thing you can't do when you're like a famous person is like look at everybody's opinions of you. And I have a feeling that he was watching those kind of things.
Yeah, he was kind of
unfortunately
a victim of his own grandeur, if you will.
Very much. Yeah. He definitely like
hate. He should have changed his hairdo. That would have been a good start.
Okay,
I'm just saying that's
let's
probably
not disrespect
the
great David Wilcox.
Listen,
most of the bad stuff they'd say was probably about his hair.
When he first got into the topic, he was definitely an interesting dude and had a lot of really cool things to say, and people were very excited. And then the deeper and deeper he got along into it, just the more grifty and weird the shit fucking got. And unfortunately, that's a trajectory that happens with like a lot of in the UFO world is they start very sincerely, and then I don't know, out of somewhere it goes real fucking sideways for some of them. Not all of them. There's genuinely some good people out there who still do it, but like every once in a while, there's just like some cuckoo birds who just kind of fly out the cuckoo's nest.
And like you said, they don't always. They often do start off with good intentions. Now, I have a theory. Like a lot of times, you see these characters, whether it be people on Ancient Aliens or like prominent UFO or high strangeness podcasters. Like a lot of times, a big red flag for me is they'll be talking about like, my man on the inside, whose name I'm not allowed to disclose, told me XYZ, and I'm like, oh, these are like all this is just classic like disinformation, like psyop shit going on here to push some sort of narrative. If you watch the documentary called Mirage Men, it really like goes into that whole approach about how you kind of prey on these people that are maybe trying to make a living in these more fringe or, eccentric communities, niche communities that have some level of needed higher level intelligence, and then you can have government structures come in and feed them bullshit to tell their audience. I don't know, it's just a theory. And then you see things like, I think I mentioned it and it got kind of like glazed over. We did a me and Jaimie and Bree and some of the other folks did that awards ceremony a
Oh,
few
yeah,
years
the golden
ago,
probes.
the Golden Probes, and it was basically just giving it was like the webcam Emmys for, like, the UFO folks, right?
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
content creators. And this was right after the whole Linda Moulton Howe thing happened, where Jaimie, if you wanna just give us the deets on that
Like a
real quick.
rundown? So basically what happened was is that Linda presented a photo that she said somebody gave her that was a genuine picture of an alien, and she said that she vetted it, and it turned out to be the cover of like a video game, and someone asked her
Uh-huh.
live on air about it, and
Nice.
she had a fucking meltdown.
See, my theory on that is, like, I think that these, let's just call them agents that are feeding these people information and really, elevating their career based on this, there might come a day when they're like, "All right, it's time to pay the piper. It's time to, like,
Oh,
discredit
wait,
yourself in some way." Let me finish.
I
It's
got a
not.
question.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I can have a okay, cool. So, is there, like, some kinda seedy underbelly? Like, is there, like, this, nefarious plot behind the UFO world? Or is it just, like, random crazies doing random crazy stuff?
I think that
That makes sense?
yes, I don't know, I wouldn't know if I would say, like, nefarious or seedy underbelly, but what I would say is that there are definitely people who are put in the UFO community, Lou Elizondo being one of them, who I think is somebody who was put there genuinely by the government to do stupid things and turn the topic into chaos. I think that that's a real thing that
Right,
fucking happens. I don't think it's like some, like, deep black project that's out there that's trying to ruin it. I think it's genuinely that, like, the US government very boldly and loudly doing it right in front of our faces, and it's, like, very obvious.
right, right. So, is the government that's what I wanna know, like, who's out there trying to discredit these things?
Yeah, I think there comes like a watershed moment in the narrative. Like we've seen the last few years. It started kind of with like the whole TikTok thing. What was that like? The New York Times started covering it. Tucker Carlson started
2017,
covering it.
yeah.
The TikTok stuff, and we had this like slow drip of quote disclosure come through. And ultimately, I think what's ending up happening is like they're trying to either discredit people that don't play ball or they're trying to kind of shift the narrative like, oh, don't listen to these kooks that have been talking about it for the last decades. We're the government. We're going to tell you what's really going on. So I think it's
Mhm,
about like
mhm.
discrediting people. And I think some of that might have something to do like David Wilcock like thought he was the reincarnation of Edgar Winter or Edgar Winter. I would Edgar Casey, right? Not the blues
Mhm,
guitar player.
mhm.
Edgar Casey, which is like,
I can see
okay,
it, I
so
see it.
clearly you're not mentally sound to put it, politically correct. But I think that there are forces at work that try to like discredit the old guard, the old narrative of the people, what the power structures would be, dismissing them for decades. And it's like, no, 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 we got this. We're going to take the wheel and we're going to tell the public what this is all about. And if you're not down
Yeah,
to play ball with the information we give you, we're going to discredit you and make you go cuckoo bananas and destroy your life.
I agree with that. I think that the government is a lot more powerful than people realize, and I think that our government also has a documented pattern of lying to us. They've literally come out before and had to apologize for things. So,
They
like,
do?
I don't know. It's just like it's weird to me. So, like, people want let's talk about disclosure for a second, right? What is disclosure and what everyone wants? They keep trying to say that the definition of disclosure is like the government comes out and admits there's UFOs. That's the thing. The world leader comes out on the lawn, UFOs are real, aliens are real. And I feel like that's pretty much been done at this point without being done. Like back in 20 before even 2017 shit, when UFOs really kicked off with the New York Times article and the stupid Tom DeLonge bullshit. Like the Pentagon came out and they had like a little small ceremony, a little press conference, and they literally said, "Hey, we use black money to fund black projects to look at UFOs." That right there was literally government disclosure, and everyone ignored it until 2017 and the stupid fucking article into the Stars Academy, right? They're doing it again now. The Department of War with their website releasing all the UAP files and all the videos and all the pictures and all the documents that they're slowly dripping out. is this not the government admitting that they think that UFOs or aliens might be real? You know what I mean? Like, they're literally putting this information out there. Like, they're literally telling us that this is a real thing and they're looking into it. They're saying it's real without coming out and being like, aliens and UFOs are real. So I'm like
Yeah.
confused as to why people don't like disclosure has happened. Everyone's like, oh, we won't disclose. It's here.
Couple things on that. I think
Right.
that disclosure is
Been
not
here.
the way it's portrayed in Hollywood, where the president comes out and addresses the nation and says aliens are like,
Exactly.
that's not one, that's not going to be effective. Two, I
Yeah.
think it's more about conditioning the public over time to
Yeah.
accept the quote reality of it.
Mm-hmm.
You even get into stuff like predictive programming. We grew up, I mean, the 50s, like people will say on the surface, well, the propaganda of the 50s sci-fi was about, drawing an allegory with the Cold War, with, the
Mm-hmm.
UFO
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But at the same time, you're conditioning the entire population into the idea that these are real. The strangeness in the sky is taking on that archetype of a 20th century UFO. Now we're seeing Tic Tacs and UFO discs and all this stuff. We could at some point get into like what that was interpreted as beyond, like prior to that. But the point is, like, then you have stuff like Independence Day. You have this new Steven Spielberg movie, Disclosure
That's
Day.
exactly, and it's all happening right as the fucking government has their website for
Right.
releasing UAP related information.
And that
And
is
it's
not
like,
coincidence.
no, it's not. And then like, I
Yeah,
don't know if
Steven
you know.
Spielberg's part of it. He's part of the equation.
Well, Hollywood's
Well,
always been
Hollywood
infiltrated
has
by
always been
intelligence. Yeah.
exactly. And I also you have to also understand too, me being a little bit more behind the scenes and knowing this, 500 UFO documentaries have also come out within the past two-month period. I'm talking the Bob Lazar movie, the Jeremy Corbell movie, the Ron James movie. Like it is everyone and their mom is dropping UFO stuff right now. It is such a fucking hot topic, and it has to be leading and building to something at this point. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I have theories on that, but ultimately, like you said, it's about one thing I take comfort in is like, despite all this, like, I love that meme that's like, "Are you not shocked?" And it's an alien, and the guy's like, "Dude, I got a lot going on right
No,
now,"
there's so much going on.
Like, people don't have time to give a shit. Like, and it's one of those things, like you said earlier, like, the government has lied about so much stuff. I'm one of these people that was, like, pretty on board, mostly agnostic, but pretty on board with the idea of aliens, but as soon as the government starts admitting, I'm like, "Oh, this is a fucking psyop the whole time. This is fucking fake to push some agenda," which we can get into what that is, but ultimately, I think there is definitely a big, like, layer of the onion being peeled, and then, like, an agenda being pushed amongst the public, and the public, I don't think they're biting on it the way it was intended, at least not yet.
So I agree with you. I think that what's funny to me is that these things keep happening. They keep releasing these things, and there's a very underwhelming response to it all at the end of the day. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that nobody's looking at it. Yes, millions of people are looking into all of these things at all times. There's a reason ufology is what it is because there's so many people who are involved in wanting to know what it is. But I think that the reaction, unfortunately, has kind of been like, meh,
Mhm.
meh. I think a big part of it is our current state of the world is very fucked up, and so it's really hard to give two shits about space when, like,
Care.
everything's kind of a disaster right in front of you. It's like, well, listen, it's not like I can go to space and all my problems are gonna be solved. So, like, unfortunately, as great as that sounds, also, like, my bills need to be paid and food needs to be put on the table, and, like, also, like, our literal, like, world is burning down. So, like, eh. So I think that
Ye
that's part of it.
and I think it kinda plays on, like, more of a, like, trying to prey on people's desire for, like, purpose and meaning too, like, there's something bigger than you, and I think there's an
Yeah.
element of, like, throwing out the old guard of religion and replacing it with this, like, UFO thing. I've definitely seen hints of that, and I mean, going back to what you're saying, I think a lot of this stuff is money laundering at the end of the day, and if
Hmm.
we're to follow the model, which I believe we're in kind of a controlled demolition of our institutions, like, we're in the last, you know, like, flailing arms of a dying empire right now, right? So it's
Mhm,
about
mhm.
exposing the old guard and saying, but this new group of people that are gonna fill the vacuum are gonna, like, make things right, but it's really just moving one money laundering operation into another one at
Well,
the
I think it's interesting what you're saying about, like, kind of like our empire's crumbling and there's gonna be kind of like I think, not to get too political, but I think Donald Trump is definitely crumbling our current version of democracy. And I think that when we come out on the other side of it, it's going to be a new reborn version. And I'm with you with the idea of the reason the government is pushing the UFO narrative is because they're trying to get people to have a new sky daddy that they look up to and like a new group of people that they can control, and they're trying to go away from all these old things like religion and all this other stuff. And I can definitely see that that's would be a reason that the government would try to do that. Not saying that I believe that, because I genuinely have had my own UFO and alien experiences, so I don't want people to think that I'm like cynical and I think all of it's bullshit. I don't. But I think that if the government is involved in that way of what you're saying, I agree with that, because that would definitely be a motive of the government.
Yeah, you have to take something that is relatively true and morph it into the agenda, right? Like, you
Exactly. That's
can't
how cults work.
like,
Literally.
a lot of effective disinformation is 75% true, but it's the
Mhm.
25% that's effective, right? Adam, back to you. I got a couple more things, but I don't wanna be a mic hog.
Oh, your mic's off.
Your mic's off.
Oh yeah, I wasn't allowed to talk. I'm back. So the if the UFOs are being released by the government now, like they know nobody gives a shit. I don't know why they're doing it. I don't think there's like they're trying to say like this is the new thing, because they're just releasing so much shit. It's all a distraction. Like everything that is happening in the news is propaganda and just fucking distraction. Says Bobby,
Well, yeah.
it's a psyop, right? Bobby, it's a psyop.
Everything
The whole
is.
fucking thing. The whole
Anything you
And
see
fucking
I
on
thing.
network news and now alternative media is
and I
probably has something behind it.
And I agree with that as well as a motive that the government has, because the reality is that the government does do shit like this where it releases stuff to distract from other things that are going on, and
And
I
there's plenty
think
of other things going on. They're gonna try to distract from.
we're literally still fighting wars with people. I don't know, Mitch McConnell fucking finally died today.
Did he
Did he?
officially die?
Did
He
he? Did they
officially
let him
died.
officially? He probably
Darn.
died like 3
Officially.
weeks ago.
No, he
You
probably
guys
died
just
like
Yeah.
did.
2 decades ago, and they had some
He was
sort of
like
fucking
I guess he
hologram
was like
bullshit.
I don't know how true this is, but I guess for the past few days, he was like, like low key in a coma. And then finally he succumbed to whatever his old age. Motherfucker was like 86 years old. So, like, I don't know
Thank
what
We
you
God.
should
know.
keep more 80-somethings in Congress and
Oh, that's
Yeah.
exactly what we
Yeah,
need.
that's
in high
Yeah, yeah,
power
yeah.
positions. Well, that's what's funny too. A lot of this UFO disclosure stuff, again, it gives me hope. The younger generations are both. I've noticed. I've talked to people at my office that are like maybe in their 20s, maybe early 30s. They're cynical, but not like cripplingly so. They're just like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's everything's fake and gay kind of thing. Like whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I got a question.
But the UFO disclosure is all coming through mainstream media outlets that only boomers listen to anyway,
Yeah, for sure.
right? So, like, it's like my I have Fox News parents to be like, what is this shit that people are talking about with, you know, Nordics and reptilians and shit?" I'm like, "Oh, that's shit I was into when I was, like, 17, looking
Alright.
into
Now
UFO
they're
shit,
catching up with it.
and everyone thought I
Now they're
was
catching up.
fucking
Yeah.
crazy," and now I'm
Yeah.
like, "No, I can't wait. I can't wait for Project Bluebeam where the UFOs are actually in the sky, and I'm gonna be the guy going, 'That's fucking fake. Don't fall for it. It's stupid.'" And everyone's be
It's a
like,
fucking
"You're a
hallucination.
conspiracy theorist." I'm like, "Okay, cool. Cool, bro.
Yeah,
Sorry, Adam.
yeah,
Go ahead, buddy."
yeah. Yeah, so I saw this map and it was on the infrawebs. I don't know if I could trust it or not, but it's like the majority of UFO sightings, and it just showed the vast majority is the United States of America.
Yes.
Is that
But
why the fuck is that?
So I think that
Why the fuck is that?
I think the biggest reason is because we report it more than other countries. That's really I think that if you look at the grand scheme of things, of course more people have seen UFOs, but not everyone lives somewhere where A, you can really talk about it openly, and like B, you have somewhere to report it to. So like a lot of things like MUFON and fucking like, local reporting centers and stuff like that are really only getting stuff from like very heavily populated areas and things like that.
A couple things on that.
Yeah,
One, I will point out there's a lot of UFO sightings in South America that doesn't get enough
Mhm.
credit, and those people are like, it kinda goes into the ancient alien stuff, right? Where they're like, "Yeah, Lake Titicaca has fucking
Yes,
light shows
1,000%.
over it," and like, "Yeah,
It
that's just
always
part of."
goes back to the native lore of the area from the native people of that area every fucking time.
But I'd
and
also
they've
say
been
that
seeing
the
it
the US
forever.
has a couple other things going for it. One in which a bunch of fucking people just want attention, for one. Two, like Jaimie said,
Mhm.
there's channels to report it. Three, we're the hub of like the cultural zeitgeist being pushed out into the world, right?
1000%.
And 4, we're apparently, our military technology is like second to none. So my question, Jaimie, would be like, how much of these quote sightings are authentic UFOs versus, I don't know, drone misidentification or
Oh,
just military
man.
Sonic
technology being
weapons.
tested? We had the drone thing in New Jersey a few
In New
years ago.
Jersey,
I
yeah.
feel like
We had
that
a
was kind
drone
of a
thing here.
I
We had a
feel like
drone
that
thing
was
here
kind
this
of
last year.
a stress test to see how people reacted to it, but it was all just fake. Like, it wasn't
Y
aliens.
Yeah, I think that, unfortunately, there's a lot of new things in our skies that we don't know what they are, so that they're being reported as something anomalous when they're not necessarily anomalous, but I don't think people are doing it on purpose. I think that people are seeing things and not
Yeah.
knowing. I think I'm not trying to sound whatever this is gonna sound like, but, like, you live out in the middle of fucking Mississippi, in the middle of nowhere. You don't know what the fucking space station looked like if it flew over you. You would just think it was a fucking UFO. So I think
Mhm.
that there's a
Well, there's
big
more
part of
satellites
their
in the
satellites.
sky than ever in history. There's like
Exactly, literally.
thousands and thousands of them now.
So I think that there's a lot of things that are unfortunately misidentified because people are just not educated in that, because we've never had to live in a world where we needed to be, like, educated by space. Like, you don't take fucking space classes in high school.
But I would counter that with, like, I think a lot of hip urban people are actually, like, smugly dismissive of things too at the same time, right? Like, I think that there are definitely things that are unexplainable even in the
Oh, for
skies,
sure, for sure.
and people are like, "Oh, that's blah, blah, blah," and I mean, I'm no angel when it comes to that either, but I have a really Adam, I wanna go back to you, but I have a really
Yeah.
weird thing I've been thinking about when I was definitely not on drugs, and I wanna run it by you guys. So, Adam, before I do that, I want
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, I'm just thinking like if there's all these satellites now, right? It's the whole Bigfoot question, right? There's more cameras now than ever. There's more
Mhm.
satellites in the sky than ever. Wouldn't they be fucking bumping into them like the UFO spaceships? I'm
Yeah,
not
I think
saying they're
well,
not here.
they
I think
they
they've already been
are. I mean, they're
I
capturing it, that's kind of
yeah,
but
I think that it's I think it's that thing where, like, it's just human nature that nothing is ever good enough for us. We could literally have the evidence right in front of our like in our hand, a picture. We could watch a video, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be something in us that it's like that's fucking bullshit. And I think that something that's never going to be gotten over in our society because it's something inherently very human that we do. Where like we believe it, yet somewhere deep, also in the back of us, there's always that like, well, is it?
calling bullshit. Yeah.
so my Kookadoo theory that I think has some validity is that, think about we were just talking about urban populations, right? In an urban
Yes.
population, there's a high concentration of people. With a high concentration of people, there's a very strong consensus, right?
Yep.
A shared reality. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's subscribe to the Matrix model for a second, where this is all just a weird, like little digital realm,
Mm-hmm.
computer simulation kind of thing, right? What I'm getting at is like less populated areas might be more vulnerable to human psychological manifestation because there's not a strong, like, egregoric consensus there of what reality is. So, for example, if you go out into the middle of the woods, the program has to kind of like catch up because it's not used to being viewed by a human interpreter, right? So the program creates these anomalies where we psychologically project what we think we might be seen on it and then we accept that because there's not other people around to tell us that's not what you saw. Does that make sense?
1,000. Yes. Well, you also have to remember too, like, just like science-wise, how, like, your eyeballs work, you don't see all of the things that are actually in front of you.
Right.
Like,
H.P. Lovecraft.
your eyeballs are literally taking pictures every milliseconds and then, like, slicing things together, and so, like, and your mind is also so powerful. Like, let's just talk about, again, down the science route of, like, how people can get split personalities if a trauma happens where their brain literally splits into multiple things. You could have trauma happen when you're younger, and then like your brain gives you different memories that aren't bad to protect itself. So the way that
Mhm.
if you saw something in the sky, you actually don't really know what it is you're looking at because your brain can literally do all sorts of really crazy, incredible things. And it could literally just be showing you what you can safely handle at that time. I think that there's a big like why I think that this is a genuine, real phenomenon is if you just look at the zeitgeist of, like, how UFOs were viewed, you started off with these flying saucer things back in the day, right? Because there were these, like, very tangible things that people could see, and it's a big,
Well,
giant metal circle, and then today, people are, like, all about the fucking orbs and the plasma and things like that.
before the saucers, it was fairies and sky ships and fucking
Exactly.
And
leprechauns
dragons
and
and shit.
That's what I'm
Like,
dragons,
if you
saying.
saw a fucking
angels. Yeah, yeah.
airplane with a jet stream, you'd think it was a snake in the sky
But
because that's all your
what you're
point of
saying
reference
is
is.
your brain needs a frame of reference to fill in those gaps, and I
Yes,
think that
and it
that
has to
is
do with the time that you're in.
so it's the anomaly or the anomaly is real to a degree, not all of it, a lot of it's fake agenda
Of
stuff,
course,
but
yeah,
there
yeah,
is
yeah.
an anomaly, there is a phenomenon happening,
Yes.
but we are fed the archetype to view the phenomenon through a lot of times.
I 1,000%
I'm gonna go
think
get a
that.
beer, you guys keep going. Adam, you look confused.
Yeah, I'm confused. I'm just thinking I keep seeing these pictures, like you were talking about the Nordic blast or whatever ones, and they look like, the elves from Lord of the Rings,
Oh,
and there's,
yeah,
like,
the
all
little
these
white
fake
ones, yeah.
yeah, there's all these pictures of, like, these guys that look like pale elves in red velveteen royalty outfit talking to Donald Trump, and I'm like, "What the fuck is this horseshit?"
Oh,
Is
so
this like
that one's AI, of course, because
yeah,
we
I mean,
again, we live in
obviously.
the AI world. But I think so I think what it is we have this tendency as humans to wanna put things inside of boxes and, like, categorize things, and I think that,
Sure.
again, this is probably us just trying to eh, quantify something that was seen at one point by someone, and the way they could describe it is in this human way of being like, they're these, like, fucking white people who look like weird elves. You know what I mean?
So wait, does that mean we are in a simulation or we're not in a simulation?
I think that if we're just speaking scientifically, it's highly probable that we're all just in a simulation. I mean,
I
the
think
So who
reality
made
is
the
that you
simulation?
create.
Because 'Cause
I
they're
think
doing a bad job.
so here's the thing, the reality is like, you can create a simulation literally on your phone with these games that you play, like Sims or, like, these interactive RPGs and things like that. You're literally creating a
Right.
simulation, so, like, it could just be a random person, and we all our characters are living in this simulation. That's a 1,000% a possibility. I think what's great about all of it and all the conspiracy theories and everything is that all of them could be true. It's like there's so many possibilities of what could actually be happening, and I
Sure.
love the fascination of the infiniteness of the possibilities of what the fuck could be going on.
And what if feeding that consensus or that interpretation via the media or via whatever actually does literally shape reality?
I think it does, and I think we all shape our own realities whether we realize it or not. I think that, uh, people talk a lot of shit about, like, the woo side of stuff, but, like, your consciousness and your intuition and your ability to manifest things, I think, are genuinely fucking real if people would just take all the craziness out of it and you just fucking do it. Like, I experience it all the fucking time. Like, I joke around that, like, I don't think oh, balloons. I don't think money's fucking real. I have this very weird relationship with money where I just don't think it's real and it just, like, appears in
It's
front
not
of me when
real.
I need
It's
it.
an it's an
And, like,
Like,
idea.
the thing is that it's because I genuinely fucking believe it. This isn't something like I'm trying and I'm wishing, like, I just genuinely believe these things to be real, and I genuinely think that that creates the weird little reality bubble that I live in.
and I
My
think
reality is not everyone else's reality, and your reality isn't everyone else's reality. We can have shared realities, but I genuinely think the things that are going on in your little fucking bubble, that people have a lot more control over than they realize.
I agree with that. I would also say as an addendum, like, I think that there's still rules to the game. There's, like, still rules
1,000%.
within the realm, right?
1,000%.
Um, there's still you're still if you don't, for example, evolutionarily, if you decide I'm not gonna subscribe to the group consensus, you have a reaction to try to avoid being ousted by the tribe or whatever. So that's why we have like, I think a lot of schizophrenics, like, genuinely m believe things that they're experiencing, and possibly they are, but it doesn't fall in line with, "Oh, science prescribed this instead, so we're gonna, like, lock you away
Yeah.
because 'cause you're, like, a menace to society," or whatever it is. But, yeah, I think there's just rules, but, like, I think there's like, for example, I think about Dune all the time where it's like fear is the mind killer, like, if you
Mhm.
can just,
Dune,
like,
yeah, Dune's badass.
expel fear from your entire consideration in your day to day, like it goes it works wonders.
So, like, that's that thing so, like, intention, like, that's exactly what I mean with intention. So, like, let's say you're driving on the road and you get a flat tire. You getting pissed off and angry is only gonna make your situation worse because now you're angry, you're mad. If you just look at it and be like, "You know what? Obviously, the universe needed me to stop for a second. Maybe I missed an
Right.
accident up the road." If you genuinely change your attitude towards something, it completely changes the situation, and, like, that's what I mean, like, you can create your people who are, like, so angry and mad half the time, it's their own fault half the time because it's the way they're thinking about it and fucking perceiving it instead of just, like, not getting emotional about fucking things.
And how many times you get emotional or negative or angry about something, and then, like, 2, 3 days, maybe 1 week later, like, it's literally completely, it, like, has no effect on you. You're just like,
I
Literally.
mean,
"Why did I
the
waste
other thing
emotion on
Exactly.
is
that?"
though, like, you look at the news, you look at TV, like all that we're fed is fear all the fucking
Yes,
Oh,
time.
because it
Like
1,000%.
sells.
you,
Like, I think people are on, like, a morphine hit of fear right now.
Yeah,
hmm
for sure, for sure.
and have been
And
for the past decade.
part of me wants to stay aware, and then there's the whole thing about, like, well, how much of this is fake? Probably most of it, but maybe that's the idea, is to fracture everyone's reality, and it just gets too much. I'm like, I'm gonna listen to Dio and smoke a bowl and go to sleep.
I'm
I
gonna
don't have a
smoke a
fuck.
joint
Yeah.
and play
I'm too
video
busy to
games.
fucking ponder the existential crisis that is being fed to me. Now, Jaimie, I want to get your thoughts on this. One theory with aliens is that it's actually entities that actually feed off of negative emotions, and we're basically just a farm to generate those
Neg
emotions.
farm.
Yeah,
We're
whether
neg
Yes.
you
farm.
go the achrome route or just the
Well, I think that's really the reptilians. That's a lot of people say that. They say that they live
Adam's engaged in
yes.
this.
He's
Oh
like,
yeah.
"Okay." So that's what people say is reptilians. So I think here's the thing that we have to
You
understand.
you dropped out for a
There's
second, Jaimie.
Ooh,
You're
okay.
back now.
So here's the thing I think we have to understand when it comes to all this space stuff and humans. We humans really like to put things in human language. I when we talk about good and bad, I don't think that those are real things because I think good and bad is relative to, like, what's going on. Like, you know how sometimes you see, like, on the interwebs, it'll be like a mom killed the person who molested her child and you're like, justified, right?
Right.
But, like,
Mhm.
Yeah.
murder,
Hell
people
yeah.
be like, inherently murder's bad. So, like, I think when we say good or bad, I don't know what
I I
those
I think a
there's
lot of it boils down to, like, the animal kingdom and, like, the natural, like, we
yes.
sympathize with natural law. We sympathize with people
Yes.
that want to protect
Yes.
their young or whatever, but we have to draw a line in the sand to, like, uphold society or whatever it is, like, you can't just,
Yeah,
like, condone that, but at the same and a lot of times
exactly.
the people that are, you know, putting people away or whatever for those kind of, like, crimes that are seemingly justified are other human institutions that are saying, "No, you can't do that." So, it's that institution arguing with, like, the
For
nature of the animal kingdom, and, like, it's like, where's that line between, like, what separates us, from the animals? Like, do we control those
1,000%.
types of emotions to remain above that, but at the same time, we're still animals, and so we
I
can,
mean,
you know what I mean?
humans cannibalize themselves like more than any most creatures in the animal kingdom. You know,
1,000%.
ants in the same colony ain't trying to fuck each other over, right?
No.
No.
Like humans are
No.
like, oh, everybody for themselves.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Best
okay,
one
so
wins.
inherently humans, they like to say it's good or bad. So I think when it comes to reptilians, they're always like bad. But what if, I'm gonna put a weird spin on this for you guys, what if the reptilians feeding off of our negative energy is necessary because energy doesn't die, right? It only gets converted into things. So what if it's just a natural process of getting negative emotion out?
Part of the
Well,
ecosystem, as it were.
Exactly.
Part of the ecosystem.
at the very least, negative emotion is exploitable. We talked about the news media
Mhm,
recently.
mhm.
So, at the very least, whether they're fucking black-eyed, shape-shifting reptilians per se, but the effect is still the
Are
same. There's
there?
still a
Exactly.
echelon at the top that is in some way or another exploiting
Oh, 1,000%.
the negative emotions or positive or whatever. It's just everything is suffering or pleasure. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh,
I think
1,000.
I think about a veal, right?
The sins.
I was thinking about this the other day. A veal is delicious on some level
Mhm.
because that little baby cow, compounded its suffering into its delicious meat.
Mhm, mhm, mhm,
And
mhm, the
so it's
sacrifice.
very Hellraiser-esque. It's very Pinhead. Like, we're like, And maybe we're on a veal farm for fucking evil entities or whatever. And then the same time, if you get Wagyu beef, it's like those cows, we're converting the pleasure of being massaged every day and being fed well, nutritious foods, and then we slaughter meat. So either way, you're converting that pleasure or that suffering into something to benefit yourself.
Something delicious.
1,000%.
Something delicious. We always make it about food, Adam.
Well, I mean,
food's delicious.
Let's get back to the nuts and bolts, if you will, of the UFO stuff real quick. So, like, where are we at right now with, like, whatever's going on in that community? Because I kinda checked out ever since I stopped streaming with you, Jaimie. I'm just like, this is exhausting, and it seems fake, and it seems like I see some of your Twitter arguments, not lately, but, like, the UFO community is very, like, vitriol towards each other. There's, like, tribal
Oh my God.
there's
Twitter's the
tribal
worst.
it's fucking weird.
Very much tribalism, and that's a big so
I'm like, who has time for this?
So specifically, just talking about Twitter. Twitter is a giant shit show. Everyone on there is a fucking nightmare. It's just a horrible place where people say and do horrible things to each other. And unfortunately, it's just like, like back in the day, people used to be like, oh, Reddit's horrible. No, fucking Twitter's horrible. I'd rather go on fucking Reddit than Twitter in this point of my fucking life.
I'm a 4chan guy.
At least Reddit gives me fucking sources. Like, fucking Twitter's just people literally screaming at each other. It's specifically in the UFO community. I think that government agents have seeped in and have built a little cult followings, Lou Elizondo, and has orchestrated a giant nonsense web of nonsenseness. And so I think
keeping people fighting is part of the op.
Exactly. So specifically Twitter, infiltrated, don't even look at it. Literally don't look at it. Nobody should go on there for UFO information.
It's not Twitter,
fucking useless.
it's X. It's
okay,
owned
Twitter
by
X is both infiltrated by bots and intelligence agents and intelligent agent bots.
And Elon Musk.
Yeah,
it's more intelligence. That guy is subsidized by the government. He's a government agent. Anyway.
So we talked about this earlier, the disclosure that's happening with the government with the war videos coming out. I will say that not all of it is slam dunk information, but there's definitely some decent things to look at in some of the drops. I think that they're like releasing kind of like a lot of nothingness and then here and there a little decent one. And I think it's going to build and keep going because they say that they have a lot to release. So I am excited about that.
Wait, are we talking about the Epstein files? What do they have a lot to release that we're never going to see?
So much of it that we've seen parts of them, and then nobody
it's all very
did anything with them.
But yeah, it's very fucked up, and nothing's going to happen from it.
And nothing's going to happen, unfortunately. Yeah,
because we got UFOs to worry about, Adam.
Well, and the thing is I feel like that it's that same thing that's going to happen with here. Like they're going to release a bunch of stuff, and then it's slowly going to fizzle out, and people aren't going to give a shit anymore because they're not walking out on the lawn and being like UFOs are real, even though this is literally them admitting it.
Or it fizzles out, and people are conditioned to it, and they're checked. Like, yes, this is a part of our world now, but we don't care because we've accepted that it's part of, even if it's orchestrated, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So
I think we're at an interesting place where the reality is I think that we are on the cusp of it finally tipping over of people just believing UFOs and aliens. I think we're genuinely teetering on that fucking line of like society as a whole. We're like so almost fucking there with it. And I'm not sure what event is going to happen to finally push that thing over, but I feel like we're definitely on the cusp of it happening.
I mean, 20 years ago, if we had this exact conversation, we'd be in fucking straitjackets.
For sure.
So it's like, to your point, the permission to discuss it has been granted, which tells me that there's some sort of normalcy being, created.
1,000%. Go ahead, Adam.
Oh, I forgot what I was to say. Am I?
That was a good idea, actually, Adam. I think that's going to help you with your participation trophy on this episode.
I love that.
I appreciate it. It'll come back to me. I'll get back to me. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
I like that we haven't got, because it's honestly, it's boring to me. I like that we haven't got into the news stories, like in the nitty gritty of like all like, they consoled with a bunch of pastors to tell them about, or like religious leaders to tell them about UFO disclosure to prep their parishes and stuff. You know what I mean? It's just like, one, I think that's kind of fucking silly to begin with. And two, it's just like, who gives a shit, right? Sorry,
Adam,
Jaimie.
go. No,
okay,
Adam,
so I remember what I wonder is like, if they do just come out full disclosure, right? Like, okay, hey, there's these Nordic track dudes, there's these reptile dudes, there's these little gray guys, right? All of them. They're all real. So then what? Like, are we gonna find out what the fuck they've been doing this whole time while we've been living in this fucked up society, right? Are they part of the problem? Are they here to save us from the problem? Because I'm not gonna be buying that they're here to save us from the problem if they've been here the whole fucking time, you know?
Yeah, the
What then?
theory, the agenda I subscribe to is create. It's almost akin to the end of the Watchmen, like either unite humanity over a common threat, or you give them a savior and let them embrace that savior, right? And in this era, it comes from this weird mythology that was written by sci-fi writers in the 20th century, basically. And you can
No
get into the
Ron
whole like,
Hubbard.
alien abductions. A lot of those reports, like people will talk about, like, yeah, I saw a guy like in a fucking admiral outfit in the room with me, like like it's like clearly like some sort of coercion's going on there with the with the I'm not saying aliens aren't real, I'm just saying it's being exploited, right? We talked about this the other day. I'm not saying climate change isn't real, but it's being exploited for
Yeah, I was gonna say, so
fucking
that's like
social credit scores and
that's
shit.
every industry, it's every weird fringe topic, like, and there's so many things being exploited, and it's not just the UFO topic, like, it's literally happening in, like, in front of our eyes all the time in politics and entertainment and fucking, like, you name it, it's fucking happening everywhere.
Yeah, and I just think it's about filling the vacuum, like I said earlier, filling the vacuum of the old world and the old belief system with this new mythology. And a lot of this stuff you read about is all about, well, this is going to allow us to release all this great technology that's going to help humanity. I'm like, great. That sounds fucking awesome, because all I hear there is like surveillance state and fucking social credit score and fucking universal basic income from the government. And I'm like, I'm not about that shit. I'm just like, nah, I'm not interested. So it's going to be painted as this like utopian quantum leap into the next phase of humanity, which falls into the whole transhumanist agenda, which we can get into if you want. But ultimately, like it's a what do they call it? A wolf in sheep's clothing kind of thing going on, I think.
I think, again, possibilities are endless with it. I think I think that we are in an exciting time because I think that what you said earlier that, like, 10, 20 years ago, we literally couldn't talk about this shit without being, like, locked away. And I think that we are definitely it's more normalized. That's something that I personally have always wanted. I'm definitely more not on the government side personally caring about it. I've always subscribed to more of the experiencer side of it, and I've always said, "You can't convince anyone it's real. They have to have their own experience. You have to see it with your own eyes. You have to have it happen to you," because outside of that, I genuinely think people just can't be convinced that these things are real or these things happen without that actually happening, because we live in a world today where, like, again, you see a video, it's not enough for you. You see a picture, it's not enough for you. And then you complain, like, there's all these pictures and cameras and everything's bullshit. And, like, we're so deep in the swamp that the reality is we don't know whether things are real or not. And so, like, that's what even adds this other layer of, like, nonsense over the whole side of the topic. I think that something that we have to look at is, like, let's say 1,000 years from now, we have our own spaceships and we learned how to travel,
God, I hope not.
through space and space-time and shit, right? So, like, think about if our species was an alien and we showed up at another planet. Like, I don't know, I kind of think of aliens like that. Like, I think of, like, all these planets and these ships that people really are coming. Like, what if it's genuinely just other planets that are out there who have their own life? So no wonder they're not, like, touching down or trying to be like, "Ooh, like, we're your gods," or something, because it's literally just, like, another planet.
Couple things on that. I'm not even sure if space is real at this point.
Ooh.
But that said, well, that's kind of a shift in the that's kind of a shift in how we interpret these things, right? Like a lot more people are starting to subscribe to this interdimensional thing, because
Yeah.
interdimensionality was like a pretty tough concept to grasp, even in like the 1950s, I think. Like it wasn't just,
Pretend like it's a tough concept to grasp and explain it right now.
it just means, what I mean is aliens, the alien narrative, the alien model is less now, it seems, about little green men coming from Mars or coming from other planets, and more about either A, they've been here the whole time, or B, they're interdimensional, or some
Mhm,
combination of both. And I
Mhm.
feel like
okay,
more
gotcha.
people are subscribing to that rather than like space travelers or some shit.
Well, I think that also leads back to what we were saying earlier about, like, seeing the different crafts depending on, like, the time frame that you lived
Totally.
in and the references you have. I think that that's also just like with our science, right? Before it was like, oh, space travel, but back then they didn't understand multi dimensions. Like, they technically had like fairy realms, and was that not their version of multi dimensions?
Adam, didn't you go to the fairy realm last weekend?
Mhm, mhm.
So it's like
I
these
To the gay
I'm a
bar.
concepts.
You went to the
very
gay bar.
very strong believer in the Fey folk. I've seen their leavings, as it were.
So so that's exactly, so that's interdimensionalness, and is that not just another way to realistically explain space travel?
And
It
Sure.
all goes back to these same origins, you know what I mean? Like, it's been in our zeitgeist of the world for a very long time.
and
Oh, yeah,
if
they
you take
had it
into
on the
account
walls and painted on the walls and cow shit.
if you take into account, like, more traditional, like, religious interpretations, they'll say that these are, like, disembodied spirits, right?
Oh, yeah.
They're just wandering the earth without any vessel to experience things through. What if these types of things are akin to that in that they are dependent on you and your experiences to manifest into reality?
1,000%. 1,000%.
Real quick, Jamie, I wanna check in because I haven't talked to you in a while, like, any recent experiences personally for you, or can you kind of talk about your initial ones?
I don't have any recent ones, but mostly because I haven't been fucking going outside too much, to be honest with you. I
That's a
haven't.
manifestation problem.
Yeah, again, so, like, I'm behind the scenes of the UFO world. I'm not out investigating it anymore. I'm part of the cog of the machine that does stuff behind the scenes now. So, like, my perception of ufology is a little different now. I experience it in a very different way. I've turned my lifelong love and passion into a career, so it's like I experience it in a different way now. But my last one was probably when me and Bree went Bigfoot hunting when we were up in the
Did you see
Sierra
a Bigfoot?
Nevadas. I mean, we think we did.
Oh,
We think we
Go
did.
on.
Okay, so so this is
we
a
wanna hear
Bigfoot
this
and
story.
UFO story, so I guess I'll give you this
They're
one.
always connected, Adam. Don't worry
I
about
mean,
it.
they're
We
interdimensional. They walk just as high above the ground,
Exactly.
so I
that
will
much
say
above the
everything:
ground.
ghosts, cryptids, aliens, demons, angels, all these things are all connected in one way, shape, or form. There's all a big giant red line through all of them. Okay, so we went out in the Sierra Nevadas with some
What
of
about
the
vampires and werewolves? Are they in
Yes.
there too?
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Vampires and werewolves?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah, and fairies.
We already talked about vampires. It's people that, like, feed on
and
negative
fairies.
emotions and blood and
Exactly,
shit.
literally, literally,
Okay,
literally.
gotcha.
Okay,
Same page,
so
gotcha.
we're in the Sierra Nevadas. We're with I think one of the guys was from hunting Bigfoot. I don't remember.
Finding Bigfoot.
Finding, I don't know, something
They
There's
like
a
never
that.
bunch of them. There's a lot of them.
There's
they
some
never
fucking
find him.
Bigfoot show.
They never
Anyways, we were
find
out
him.
there. We were camping. We went for like 3 days, I think, maybe 4 days, I don't know. At one point, so like we were out, it's the middle of nowhere. It's very quiet. There's like not there's no sounds. There's like a few wildlife here or there, but we're camping, and in the middle, first it starts off in the middle of the day. There's this squirrel that comes up, and it's like we're all sitting around a little like heater because you can't have campfires where we were. And he like gets up on the tree and starts literally screaming at us for like 30 minutes, just yells at us. And like all of us were like, this is an omen. Something's happening. This squirrel is literally, why is it just standing there screaming at us for this long? Like, obviously, something is trying to communicate with us. Later that night,
Obviously. The
yeah,
animals are
Yeah,
always the first to know.
yeah. Later that
they were
night,
warning you. It was warning you.
no, for real. Later that night, we were by the heater. It was like earlier in the night, so like the sun had just gone down. It's just starting to get like super super dark. And we were like all looking up, and me and Bree saw a UFO that was the size of about a football come over us, probably about 200 yards above
A
us.
football or a football field?
Football size, like football, like the
Was
size
it
of a
sh
Were you guys tossing the old pigskin around? Could it have been a football?
no,
would they was it
no.
like tiny little extraterrestrial men in the football?
I have no idea. It was like a glowing bright orb that was about the size of, like, a football. That's, like,
It was like a
from
smirk
that's
chip.
again, from the distance of where it was at. It seemed to be maybe, like, 200 feet above us, and it was
Okay.
very close, it seemed like, and it was super fucking bright, and it went right over us super slow, stopped, and then just took off.
Was it the shape of a football or was it like an orb?
It was an orb, but
Okay,
it was
you
just
saw
about
an
the
orb.
size of a football.
Orbs and Bigfoots are
Oh, okay.
definitely
Okay.
correlating there. Okay, go ahead.
So then
Very folk. Very folk.
later that night, we went out and we walked around to try to like see if we could find it anywhere. We didn't really find anything, but I will tell you, walking in the Sierra Nevada at night is very spooky. Then we get back to the camp and it's like super late. I have genuinely no idea what time it is, but it's late, like probably midnight, 1 a.m. kind of late bullshit. And we had put out like on the other side of our camping area, there was like the dirt road that came in, and there was like a big forested area with a big mountain that went up it. And we had put like some snacks out for the Bigfoot. And something walked over there. It wasn't close enough to like where the food was, but it was
What
like
kind of snacks were they?
we put apples,
Was
Ooh.
it any beef jerky?
no beef
Because Bigfoots
jerky.
love the beef jerky.
We
Okay.
did apples, and I wanna say, like, M&Ms, I think, were the 2 that
Ooh.
we had or something. It was something sweet. I don't remember exactly what it was, but we heard it. It sounded like it was literally walking on the side of the fucking mountain, and we saw these 2 big red glowing eyes. We don't know what the fuck it was. It literally at one point, when it, like, got far enough away, it sounded like it knocked over an entire fucking tree. It was the
Uh,
wildest sounds of my life.
how far away were the glowing red eyes?
Oh, man. Probably, like, a football size field away from us
Okay.
on
Wow.
the other
And
side
it
behind
wasn't
trees,
eye shine, it was like actual like
like
you know
glowing
what
Gl-
red
like
Ghostbusters
eyes.
2 when
incandescent
Janosch goes through the hallway and
Yeah.
he has like the
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
flashlight
yeah.
guy?
No, no, no. Yeah, we didn't
from
have flashlights
inside.
in the area. We didn't have flashlights. We were in the dark. And
So
then
what if like orbs are drones for Bigfoots?
they could be, in all
They could be.
honesty. They could be. Okay, so then it gets
That's a
worse.
valid theory, Adam. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Later that night, we go to bed and Bree wakes me up in the middle of the night and she's like, something circling our tent. And we're laying in bed together. And I don't remember all of it, but I remember part of it
And you were
that
like, "We better make out."
well, no, I fell asleep again. Like I literally just passed out and she stayed up with it longer. So the gist of it was there was something that was like standing like on hind legs, like not something down in the middle or to the ground,
What makes you think that?
because we could hear it breathing on top of us, like in and out.
When did this happen? How haven't I heard of this story?
We literally did a whole episode about it, Bobby, on
No.
our show. You
Yeah,
can literally
Bobby.
go watch it. We have like videos and pictures of things. We have the sound one of the Bigfoots made. It was calling back to us. But it was literally going in circles around our tent, and, like, its head was above the top of our tent breathing in and out, and our tent was probably about 6
What
feet
if
tall.
I mean it could be like this could all be like government like cyber bears. You know what I mean? Like cyber bear
So
technology.
definitely,
Cyber
if it was
bears. I like
if
the
it was
cyber bear theory.
if it was gonna be anything, it was
Yeah.
definitely gonna like, if it wasn't a Bigfoot, a bear is a great possibility of something that it could be, but
I
the
mean the
thing
red
was
glowing eyes could totally
wait,
be cyber bear.
but we had a bunch of fucking food that we left out, like, where our heater in our
Bears
camp
hate food.
area. None of it was fucking touched. Not a
Oh.
single thing was
Really?
touched.
Yeah, Bigfoot doesn't like yellow 5 in his fucking
There was
M&Ms.
literally nothing like, our buns were out, we had fucking bags of
Oh,
chips
were
out,
they?
nothing
He has a
was
he has a gluten
right?
allergy.
There was nothing, and so it was, like, so interesting. So whatever creature was around us was weirdly not interested in our food.
This does not rule out cyber bears at all because by being a cyber bear, it's like cybernetically controlled. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like
I
it's
don't
remote
think that
control.
I honestly don't think that that's that far-fetched, Adam.
Yeah.
I think
I
there's
also
Bears sound like
technology that
something
can
programming would do.
holographically, interact with the real world that institutions might have to send
Yeah.
out into national
And
parks.
and you know what? Maybe it wasn't a Bigfoot, maybe it was a Wendigo. I got no
Could be
idea.
a Wendigo, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
What is your
Wendigos are
if
out
you
there,
had to
man.
be a true skeptic, what would you say it
That's
is?
my
Like
favorite.
a cyber bear?
I'm going with cyber bear. It's
Um, a true if I was a, like, skeptic and I didn't believe it should, I'd be like, "It's a bear, it's a bear, it's a bear."
Okay.
That would be my go-to, but, like,
no,
again,
but a
I
bear
just
doesn't
don't
explain the orb. A bear
it
doesn't
doesn't
explain the
and
orb.
again, just, like, the whole circumstances of all of it compounded together. Again, I don't know if I saw Bigfoot because I didn't see a fucking Bigfoot with my eyeballs, but I definitely
Right.
had a spooky fucking experience in a place that people claim to see Bigfoot a lot.
What
Yeah.
if bears are not real, but Bigfoots are? We just project the archetype of the bear on actual
It's
Bigfoots.
1,000% could happen. Again,
It
our
could.
brains are real fucked up and does all wild sorts of things, so yeah, possibility.
Why would they do that though?
I like how this dwindled into Bigfoot talk. I'm a fan.
Because it's
always-
all connected.
It's always going to be Bigfoot. It's always going to go back to Bigfoot. Did you tell her about the spatula I bought you, Bobby?
Oh,
Bobby
yeah.
a Bigfoot
Adam bought
spatula.
me a spatula that's not ergonomically conducive.
Not good
It's
for your hand.
nor is it good for flipping meat, but it's a grill spatula that's the spatula part is in the shape of a Bigfoot foot.
Oh, I love that.
And the handle is like an action figure of a Bigfoot, like the Patty
Oh,
Patterson Gremlin
wow.
shape. And I'm like,
Wow.
this is I've tried to grill with it, Adam.
It's
I'm gonna
not
be honest. It's
functional.
more
It's
of a
art.
novelty
work.
that I hang up on the wall rather than use regularly because it doesn't the grooves in the toes kind of tear the meat off the grill in the wrong way, and
Ugh,
Right.
the worst.
you don't have a lot of
Right.
wrist
But it's
control with
definitely
the shape of a
beautiful.
Bigfoot. Yeah, it's definitely
I appreciate you
a nice
trying
gesture
to cook
from
with
that
it.
you bought at Hobby Lobby
Mm-hmm.
at
As
the
soon as I
expense
saw it,
of
Bobby, I had to buy it. I had to buy
I
it.
just want
My
you guys to
kid
know that
didn't eat for 3 days because of that.
I have been kicked out of many Hobby Lobbies.
Nice. Nice. Good for you. I'm
All right,
proud of you. I don't think I've ever been booted from a Hobby Lobby, but I
I
don't know.
have several times.
I don't run amok.
I do.
any final thoughts on UFOs, Bigfoots, high strangeness? Adam, I feel like you didn't get to say a lot this episode.
Okay, I got a question. Is there any kind of coincidization, not a coincidence, but like something happening at the same time, which I guess could be coincidence?
A correlation.
Correlation, that's the word. Thanks, Bobby. So the UFO thing, Roswell, 1940s or whatever. I'm sure there were more UFO interactions before then, right? But like that's the public one, right? So is there a correlation between the increase in technology? Because you were saying earlier, like, oh, well, now they're going to release this new technology. They've already released it, right? Like this technology we have could be that technology. They just figured they're just giving it to us on a fucking subscription service. You know what I mean? Like the technology they have, we already have, but it's just bullshit.
I
Yeah, I
feel
think that
I feel like AI kind of might be that. Like AI might be how we figure it out and how we're advancing it is because we got it maybe from like a UFO.
But I don't.
and to
I don't.
your point, Adam, I feel like we are in the infancy of the subscription-based reality, right?
1,000%.
Yeah, they're gonna be charging us for fucking air. It's gonna be like
Instead of
President
paying for
True.
cable at one place, you now subscribe to 800 streaming services
Right.
that end up
Right.
costing
Right.
more than what fucking cable was.
Mm-hmm. It's bullshit. It's
I'm
bullshit.
talking more
So
about like you could tap into your algorithm to live in the world that you want to world based on the information it feeds you, kind of thing.
Oh, absolutely. That's also part of it too. But then they're also making money off of it at the end of the day
Exactly.
as well. Like it's a giant circle. It's a giant
Weaponized
circle jerk.
consciousness.
oh yeah, they have charges for
1,000%.
it. I don't think that AI is actually artificial intelligence at all. It's not. It's just like a tool, like you said, that you give me an answer and it just takes all of the fucking data that we've been inputting since the internet existed and just giving us an answer based on what we've already said. This isn't intelligence. It's just regurgitation of everything we've
1,000% is
already made.
regurgitation. Yes, I
Adam,
think that it's a lot less intelligent than people realize. It's only as
Yeah.
intelligent as the information you feed it.
it's an aggregator. It's a fucking search engine that talks, but I think that there's still
Yeah.
implications that are profound with it.
A
And it's
1,000%.
probably the one that we're allowed to use is not the degree at which that it's, able to affect reality. Now, Adam, I think our next Fringe with benefits is going to be with Simple Austin
Mhm.
about AI because he's a bit of an AI guru himself. He's done
Is
some
he?
work.
Yeah, I've got a lot of questions for him.
What
Got
a
lot of
perfect
questions
way
for
to
him.
end this episode with that leading into the next.
That's
Called a
the
inter-episode
foreshadowing.
segue.
Wow.
Yeah,
I am
future
happy to be a
episode
part of this
promissory
segue.
note. I'm just happy to be here,
And
Same.
and I'm happy that all of our people were here. Is it gone? Are we done? Is it over?
no, I haven't ended it yet, but I can.
Oh, okay. I'm just happy all these people watching at home are watching right now from the Not For Everyone podcast.
All right,
And
now
you still doing your podcast, Jaimie?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
We're still chugging along. Still a thing.
Well,
this
thanks
is our
for
5th
having
episode
me.
this year.
Thanks for
Hell
having
yeah.
me. Aliens are real. We're
Hey,
in the
share this
government of
with
the
all your
ground.
UFO friends.
I will.
Yeah, they'll hate us. Share it with them.
They all hate me.
Nice. Share it with them.
You guys don't know this, but low key, people make videos about me on the internet and tell them that I'm a gatekeeper. They say that I'm a gatekeeper and I'm ruining their lives.
You're probably pissing off the exact correct people to piss off.
Probably,
Send me
honestly.
them videos.
You're
I
a
wanna see
gatekeeper,
that.
Jaimie. You're the
GK
gatekeeper to our hearts.
for life.
To your heart, yes.
All right, how do I stop this stream?
How do I
With
stop
your
the
heart.
streaming thing?
And don't forget to cancel your trial.
Cancel the fucking trial. They're charging you for this, Bobby?
Yeah, it was like
Yes.
$17 a month.
It's fucked up. Cancel the trial.
I could buy an Aerosmith CD for that.
Right. You buy one on fucking compact disc, buddy. Probably get 2 of them. Shit.
Probably.
All right, I think that went well. Thanks, everyone, and we'll do more Fringe with benefits very soon. And Jaimie, if you ever have anything you want to talk about further, please feel free to call back. Again, I really like that we weren't just getting the nitty gritty of all the bullshit you're hearing. We're getting way more out there and abstract.
That's I love getting abstract with it. I think that's the only part that's fun for me now.
Exactly.
Right.
Well, that's the thing too. I got bored with it. I was just like, I don't fucking care anymore. Like, I don't care. You guys just played all your cards. Like, who gives a fuck? Anyway.
I just don't believe the government either.
Yeah. Like, they're saying it, so I'm like, I don't fucking believe this shit.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. If it's coming out of their fucking mouths, I definitely don't fucking believe it. But maybe that's the point.
I think I wouldn't believe any of it if it didn't happen to me, and that's why.
It's definitely about like fracturing everyone's interpretation. Like it's like keeping everyone divided and not in a consensus. So there's like a handful of people that do believe it. There's people that don't care. There's people that think it's bullshit.
Religion does the same thing. So
yeah. So
it's just a new version of it.
On that note, thanks everybody. I'll see you Sunday, Adam.
Okay, bye. Love you guys so much.
Sir.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. Love you. Have a good one. See you soon.